All right, guys. Well, welcome to those of you who are here. I'm sure we'll have a few more people continue to join as we get kicked off here, but gonna go ahead and get started. My name is Rebecca Hunter. I'm the VP of Global Strategic Alliances at Advanced Communities. We are a Salesforce partner, and I am joined by a couple of my favorite people in this ecosystem. First, I've got Jennifer Alonso from Fionta and Basil Tillman from Salesforce. And together we are going to be talking about membership success with Salesforce, using Salesforce as an AMS for your organization. And so if that's not the webinar that you signed up for today, you are in the wrong place. Otherwise, we're very excited to have you here. Next up, I'm just going to let the rest of the panel introduce themselves. So Basil, you're up first on our slide. I'll let you kick it off, followed by Jennifer, and then we'll move forward.
Wonderful. I'm actually a senior manager of solution engineering here at Salesforce. So I'm very happy to be here today. I lead our solution engineering organization for a set of our nonprofits here in the United States. Very excited to be able to do that. Yeah, I've been at Salesforce for going on 9 years. I'm about to head off to my 12th or 13th Dreamforce. I've kind of lost track of that. So been here for a while. I'm really excited for the chance to talk about how Salesforce can help our association customers. It's been a great time working with those organizations over the years, and we really have some excellent solutions that can help. So I'm excited for the chance to talk with you all today and grateful for our friends at Fionta and Advanced Communities for the opportunity to join. Jennifer.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Basil. I am Jennifer Alonso. I am one of our solutions directors, and it is my job to make sure all of our solutions for associations are well built and maintainable and really serve our associations base. So I have been at Fionta for almost 5 years, serving four associations and the team for that full 5 years, and not going to Dreamforce, but looking forward to seeing what's available online. Super grateful to Advanced Communities and Salesforce for putting this together, and also super grateful to all of you who I hope to be able to serve as you move forward, as you think through your AMS CRM decisions.
So for today, guys, for our agenda, we're going to start off by building a pyramid. This is a classic pyramid with Salesforce. It is incredibly important to build your base on Salesforce and then have an implementation partner that is in your back pocket, ready to help at any point in time to implement the solution on Salesforce that you've chosen. And then to add on things like apps in the form of products that are native to Salesforce, that live and breathe in the ecosystem. And so that's the formula that we're going to follow today. We're going to start off by a presentation with Basil. He's going to tell us all about Salesforce Nonprofit Cloud. And then Jennifer is going to come in, and Jennifer is going to talk about how Fionta, one of our partners in the ecosystem, enables associations using Salesforce and the kinds of work that they can do to get them started and running successfully. And then I'm going to talk about a membership app that we have built on top of Experience Cloud for Salesforce that'll sort of help bind all of these solutions together, and then we'll wrap it up with the Q&A. So without further ado, I'm going to pass this right over to Mr. Basil Tillman.
Thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate it. You know, it wouldn't be a Salesforce presentation without our thank you slides. We have a great tradition of leading with gratitude. And so I want to thank all of you that have taken the time out of your day to spend with us to learn about how Salesforce can help support our association customers and the vital work that you do for your stakeholders. It is a privilege that we have to be able to come to you and talk about these things that we think can help you do better. And so we are truly grateful. And also to our friends from Fionta and AC Communities for helping to put this together and giving us the chance to speak. I don't have the slide in the deck, but this also wouldn't be a Salesforce presentation without me mentioning that as a publicly traded company, it is very important regarding Salesforce that you make your buying decisions on what's available today, not any forward-looking statements that we may make during this presentation. I don't plan on making any but it is very important that you understand that is a very innovative company for Salesforce. If you have questions, don't hesitate to ask in the chat or let me know. We can send you the copy of that slide. It's a really great bedtime story for adults. It'll get you to sleep real fast if you need to read it. Okay. Now, we're not here just to share the Salesforce perspective. We're here to talk about the things that Salesforce has learned. We can move to the next slide, please, Rebecca. We know that none of you are alone. All of your peers and your other organizations are experiencing similar challenges and have similar priorities. We need to enhance our member experience because we live in a world where folks deal with Amazon and Netflix and Disney and LL Bean and all of these massive organizations that provide seamless experiences. Our members expect the same thing. But we know that we deal with disparate systems and silos that prevent us from being able to do things. We know we need to connect those things. We have to create efficiencies to do more with what we have instead of bringing in more resources. We want to make sure we take and use what we have efficiently, and we need to grow, right? We have to keep our membership and we need to keep going. 48% of our members are still planning to do most of their engagement virtually in the next year. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. This is what we're hearing, not from just our customers, but from your customers. They expect that their experience with the company, how they feel and how they relate to it, is just as important as the benefits they get from you as an association. Customers also say that they have purchased things and engaged in commerce in new ways. For those associations that are selling materials, journals, those types of things, there are new ways that people are interacting with you. And they expect people to understand the uniqueness of who they are. Your members aren't satisfied anymore being treated as a member. They want to be treated as Basil or Rebecca or Jennifer, who also happens to be a member. And they also know that technology is changing membership orgs for the better. And we're really excited to be part of that. As we move on to the next slide. Right now, we're in a world with disparate systems that are preventing you from engaging with your members and even with your internal staff. Because we know if your staff is working well, they're going to be able to support your members. It's really important to have that engagement. In all of these boxes that you see, the member experience is somehow separated from marketing. It's all separated from analytics. We don't always know what our revenue streams are. Our ticketing may be in a different system. And our operations people using a different ERP, they're not connected. And we know that we can solve that problem and bring those things together so we can deliver the experiences that people need to have in order to remain as members and to bring and to join us. So let's move on to the next slide, please. So I want you to think about the challenges that your organization is facing today, the things that are causing you the most pain, the things that are keeping you from reaching the potential of your organization with your members. And as you keep those challenges in your mind through the rest of my presentation and the presentations that you're going to see from Jennifer and Rebecca as we continue through the webinar today, think about how the things you see will help you address those challenges. If you want to, in the chat, you can put some of those challenges into the chat. And once I've finished my presentation, I can come back and give some feedback on how we might address those or provide some context for how Salesforce might. We don't have an open channel for interaction, but I would love to hear some of those challenges in the chat, and I'll get to address them later as we move forward. Let's move on to the next slide, though, and I want to talk about the Salesforce Customer 360 or the constituent or the member 360. That customer word does a lot of carrying here at Salesforce. And we recognize that you don't see your members as customers, but we use this customer 360 language to cover the whole gambit of things that we can do here at Salesforce, because one of the key parts is the power of our platform across all sorts of industries and businesses. We say that nonprofits is just a tax status. It doesn't define how you do business. And so because of that, the tools that Salesforce brings in this Customer 360 apply across everything that we do. From membership sales to delivering customer service to communicating through marketing tools, the power of the Salesforce platform itself to provide this base that we're talking about in the pyramid that we're building, and the industry specialization represented by Salesforce's nonprofit cloud. Let's take a look at that nonprofit cloud and see the pieces there that are going to help us to really help our association customers. If you can move to the next slide, please, Rebecca. Thank you. We help you provide a connected member experience using this Membership 360 by providing a seamless experience for members to connect disparate systems, to destroy data silos, not just to connect them, but to completely break them down, which will give you more efficiencies. In addition, having the ability to create new automations and new workflows that do more with what you have because those silos are gone, allowing you to acquire and maintain those new members. And we open up a world of opportunities for you to create a modern and secure platform. Salesforce in the nonprofit cloud provides that base of security and modernity that's constantly innovated on through 3 releases a year of technology that's available to use as soon as those are done. We give you interoperability and integration to connect your systems, to create a total view of your members and how they connect with your organization, empowering you to take advantage of automation and the latest advancements in not just intelligence, but artificial intelligence through both predictive and generative AI features baked into the Salesforce nonprofit cloud, ultimately giving you connected, personalized, and member-led experiences, all because we have this solid, unified base to build upon. Let's keep moving, please. The modern way that the nonprofit cloud is going to enable you to manage your membership starts with the ability to unify your data and to protect it in a secure and holistic view of your members and how they relate to you. Once you've unified that data and you know that it's safe, then you move on to enrich it through our collaboration tools like Chatter and Slack to bring in more data and to collaborate around that data will help you to enrich it, to unlock those insights and understand and find new ways to work with your members. That then continues to lead on to personalization, real time and at scale through the Salesforce Data Cloud and the CRM products that we have in Nonprofit Cloud. You're able to tailor your communications to each individual member, understanding and honoring their preferences and how they're interacting with you, which leads to that better engagement. So that because you have simplified and streamlined processes, your people can spend more time doing things that only people can do, connecting to your members in new and meaningful ways, in a seamless way that's relevant and consistent because we all have this shared base of information all brought together. And finally, it helps us to learn and grow because we have the unified data, because it's safe, because it's enriched and we're engaging with people, we're able to continue building on that intelligence to get better and better at anticipating, understanding, and meeting the expectations of our membership. Next slide, please. So with the nonprofit cloud, we give you the base to help you build relationships that are going to drive change across all of the different categories of your potential members. With the Salesforce Nonprofit Cloud, we're going to help you drive your new member acquisition to bring those new members on, to onboard them, and to make sure that we set them up for success. As their existing members, the Nonprofit Cloud will help you to deepen membership engagement and loyalty. We hope that will also allow you to re-engage your inactive members, to bring them back into the fold, to encourage them to participate in new ways, to share their knowledge with your new members and your existing members, and activate your entire community of supporters, be they your individual members, the organizations that your members work for, the sponsors that exist in your particular area. So as you're working on your relationships with them, all of that broader community can be assisted and benefit from you using Nonprofit Cloud. And at the same time, all of those four things are possible because your employees don't have to swivel around in their chair and go look over here and go look over there and remember the login for these 20 different systems that they're working on. They will be happier. They will bring better relationships and help engage your customers or your members in new and exciting ways that will help further that experience. Let's move to the next slide, please. Don't just take my word for it. At Salesforce, we work really hard in understanding the success that our customers have. And for fiscal 23, we have these numbers that we want to share with you. And the logos you see across the bottom are just some examples of our customers. We're not saying that these customers all had these results. I want to be really clear about that. These come from the survey that you see at the bottom of the slide. But our customers using Nonprofit Cloud see a 21% faster time to be able to execute a new strategy. We see a 33% increase in member satisfaction, an increase in member retention to the tune of about 27%. And also, all importantly, talking about efficiency and saving money and working in a cost-effective way, a 17% decrease in the cost to acquire new members. None of this is necessarily new technology. Yes, Nonprofit Cloud is a new product, but Salesforce has 25 years of history bringing these benefits to our nonprofit customers in real ways. And now we're bringing all of that expertise more firmly to our membership and association customers. So let's go ahead and move on to the next slide. And I'm going to pass the baton to my friend Jennifer, who's going to pick up and talk a little bit about how Fionta can bring the Nonprofit Cloud and help you bring your membership and association organization to the next level. Go ahead, Jennifer, take it away.
Thank you, Basil. And there are questions in the chat, so if you want to look,
I will jump in
I
that.
answered some, but yeah, but thank you so much
Wonderful.
for all of that. Gosh, again, gratitude that you all are here. Here at Fionta, we would be your implementation partner. And what that means is that we do the service part, right? We know associations like the back of our hand, we know AC, and we know Salesforce. And we only work on the Salesforce platform. And so you would be, we act as your trusted advisor and partner as you move through your Salesforce and AC project. Just a little bit about us. We have been around since 2001. We have served over 1,200 nonprofit and association clients. We're really proud of that, of our breadth of experience. We've been a consulting partner since 2005, and I'm going to just ring a bell real quick because we just made Summit Partner, and Jana, who was one of the participants, was a huge, it was her work that got us there. So thank you for that, Jana. We work with 75 plus US based staff, and I'm proud of this too. We're a great place to work. So the folks on my team, and it is my team that will work with you, like their work here at Fionta. They love Salesforce and they like the AC tool. Finally, I just want to wave a flag that we are woman owned and led. And I will say that I've been at Fionta for 5 years. And for the first time, I was in a meeting where I was the only woman yesterday. And I had to make a big deal about it because that very rarely happens. We're driven by our values. So we do not, these are not values that we just put on our website. Everything that we do with you is values driven. So can you move to the next slide, please? The other thing is that we are, in addition to really understanding associations, we take our learning about Salesforce very seriously. So everyone on my team is a Salesforce certified professional. And the great thing about working with a consultancy, right, with a partner, is that anytime my team runs into something that they were not, that they don't know, that they weren't expecting, they can always phone a friend, right? So there are 70 other people in the company who may have the answer. And so we all work as a team. Next slide, please. You're going to hear this word from me a lot. Fionta's consultative approach. From my perspective, having worked for associations and nonprofits for a long time, what I do know is that the most important part is that my clients are heard, right? So we want to make sure that we really understand your business, that we really understand what you're trying to do, and that we're talking to you through our expertise to get you where you want to be. We can't tell you where you should be. We want to hear from you where you want to be, and then we work with our expertise to help you get there using the Salesforce and AC tools. Next. The way we do that is through the power of our team, right? So we have been, as a business, 21 years working with associations. We have a deep expertise around membership organization and migrating from legacy AMSs. So especially our data team and our consulting team really understand maybe what you're working through right now, right? You have a legacy AMS that you've maybe customized to a place where no one even knows how it works anymore, and where you have created business processes that that are getting around the tool instead of creating a tool that eases business processes. So we are there to help with that. We have 24 association-specific consultants, and I want to say I am really proud that we have most of the folks on my team are not just folks who work in technology. They have been membership directors. They have been directors of finance teams. They've worked for associations for a long time before they came to my team and learned the technology. The other thing I want to just really wave my hands about, because of our approach starting with humans, is that we have UXI specialists in-house, right? So we also have a web team, and their expertise in terms of understanding how to create a really, really special and personalized user experience in your portal is something that is included in all of our projects, right? So you will not, for example, work with my team and have a form that people cannot fill out because it's impossible to figure that out, because we have a UX specialist who is there to help you. Next slide, please. All right, so once you start working with us, the first thing we do is discovery, right? Next slide. We need to work with you to really understand what are the key problems that you are trying to work on. And we start with a survey, which seems like not much, but if you can see here, this is an output from one of our clients. You can see very clearly, oh, sorry, go back with, you can see very clearly what is most important for this client, right? So for the staff members who responded to the survey, why are we doing this project? And look here, gosh, it looks like, right, tracking individual customer engagements is really important, which is something that Basil talked about and has been part of the chat. Let's see why we do this, right? Is often the folks who make the decision about the partner and the tool do their best, right, to get the whole organization on board, but maybe they don't know everything, right? So it's our first thing that we do is like, okay, let's go talk to your folks. Let's go talk to your stakeholders and make sure that what your leaders thought this project should be about and what your users, stakeholders, members think this project should about align. Next slide, please. All right. We're going to find out who are your personas, who are your business users, who makes up your membership. And by that, I mean your potential members all the way from maybe the first person who is going to maybe just buy that very first PDF all the way to your Meritus users. And understand them so that we can build the system from their perspective all the way through. Next slide, please. then we bring it all together, right? So we bring it all together to your leaders and to your to the folks who are really going to be working with us to build the system to say, okay, this is what we heard. Do we have it right? And do we have it right from the perspective of every member, every stakeholder, every business user? Next slide, please. And then, whoops. Here we go. We then move into design, and I'm just going to give you just some things to just beginning to think about if you're thinking about an AMS change, a CRM change, and you're moving to Salesforce. You really want to be thinking about what are our assumptions, what are our risks, what are the major decisions we are going to have to make, and how might our scope change over, say, a 3-year project. We help you with that. We bring you then, if you'll move on to the next slide, very clear stories. What are we going to do? How much is it going to cost in terms of hours? What are we assuming? And how can we work together to make sure that what you end up with is what you all really want? And moving to the next slide. And then, of course, it is our job to help you understand your schedule, right? So when are you going to kick off? And when are you going to have a live system? And what are you all going to have to do with Fionta to get from A to B? Next slide, please. I'm just going to, I don't never know quite where to put data because it goes all the way from discovery and design all the way to launch. But what I want to bring to your attention, if you'll move on to the next slide, is that at Fionta, we don't do templated data migrations. What we do is always a custom data migration process. And the reason we do that is because most of our association clients are on legacy AMSs, and they have been so customized that often the information and the way it lives in the data is not how our clients want it to reflect when they move to Salesforce. They really are looking for a much more usable data model so that you can do all of the things that Basil brought to our attention in terms of personalized engagement, right? So, so generally, we go through some analysis to really understand your work. We do mapping, and then we use 2 proprietary tools, Arroyo and Embarcadero, to move data around so that it fits within the Salesforce ERD, but also the way that you, as our partner client, want and need to see your data, and more importantly, action your data so that you can get those personalized experiences that we know are so important. All right, moving on to the next slide. I'm going to hit real this seems like the bulk of what we do, right? I'm going to work with a partner because they're going to build our new system. And I want to say that if we have done our work with you pre-sales, our work with Basil and Rebecca's team, and then our work in discovery and design, this part should go really smoothly, right? So moving on to the next slide, right? We work, once we really understand what you want, in agile 3-week sprints. And what that means, really, that's a lot of talking, but what that means for you all is that we're going to spend 1 week grooming, which just means, hey, here's what we said we were going to do 6 months ago. Is it still correct? Do we need to make any changes? We're going to build the work, and then we're going to demo it to you. So every 3 weeks, you will see what we are doing with what you are going to be able to unveil parts of your system and give feedback. And the reason why I'm really bringing this up is it's really important to us that there are no surprises, right? So that there isn't that thing that can happen, right? We designed your system, we went away for 6 months, and now we're giving it to you and it has nothing to do with what you wanted, right? Or it isn't what you expected, right? So you are going to be working with my team throughout to build your system, give feedback, make changes as we are building. We use Jira and we use GearSet, and both I'm bringing those up because those tools help us be very organized, which the more organized we are, the less time and money it takes, right? And because GearSet really helps us, and we teach it to you too, understand how to take care of your system, right? The whole point of using Salesforce and AC is that you are able to make quick changes in the way that you are not with legacy AMSs to respond to the world. And I don't know, maybe you all experienced this thing called COVID where everything had to change real quick. Our clients that were already on Salesforce were able to be really, really agile on the ground because they already understood how to make changes in their system quickly and how to test and how to get to production very fast when, for example, they had to move their annual event to Zoom. All right, next slide, please. All right, I want to say this because it's really key to our business. We don't want to be your vendor for your implementation. We want to be your partner along with Salesforce and Advanced Communities for the time that you are on Salesforce, which will of course be forever. So we think of this work with you as a partnership, and we expect the partnership to move on. So yeah, there's some heavy lifting in implementation with my team, but then our hope is that you continue to work with our managed services or Accent team and help us understand what are your goals for the future, what is your organization trying to do, and so that we can help you throughout the lifetime of your new system. And because it is Salesforce and Advanced Communities, you can be agile, you can make changes, and we will be there to help you all the way through. And with that, I am going to move to Rebecca, whose name is not Mary. I was so glad because I was like, did she change her name? So I'm so glad that you were still Rebecca, and your turn.
Thank you. Thanks so much. It helps to have such great partners in this ecosystem that can can ramp me up so well. But hi guys, thanks so much for sticking with us through the presentation so far. I would like to start off with a quick overview of who Advanced Communities is and why we are sort of the tip of the pyramid in this equation. So for us, we are a Salesforce partner. We're a Crest partner, an implementation partner, and also an ISV partner. And in this sort of equation, we act as what we call an ISV partner, which is essentially just a product partner. I love to use the example of going to the Apple Store and buying an iPhone. If Salesforce is the iPhone, then Fionta acts as the genius at the Genius Bar that tells you how you can best use your iPhone to work for you specifically. And then Advanced Communities provides the app that then makes your life a bit easier in using your iPhone. We are a team of about 85. We are a global company, so we have a presence in the US, the UK. I'm currently in London, but also headed to Dreamforce with Basil on Sunday, and then I'll be stateside for a few months, so I kind of split my time. We also have some team members out of Greater Europe, lots of different countries throughout Europe. So please feel free to reach out to us. We're more than happy. I did see a question in the chat. It was only posted to the host and panelists, so apologies to those of you who can't see it, but one of the questions was, is Advanced Communities going to be doing a sort of a demo so that we can see how the product is used? And the answer is a very light demo. Yes, we will be doing a very light demo, but we're more than happy to meet with you afterwards, either one-on-one or as a partnership with Salesforce and Fionta. So the product that we're talking about today is AC MemberSmart. This is a product that was built after years and years of Advanced Communities working with association customers, and those customers saying to us, guys, when we're implementing Salesforce, we need to host events. That's a huge part of what membership means to us and how we either create new members, garner new members, or we engage our current membership. We were also being asked about things like, can we house a directory of all of our members, and can we decide of our membership who can see other people within the community? So we'll talk about that a bit more. We were also being told, "Hey, guys, we need fundraising. We need people to be able to make donations. We'd like to be able to sell hats or t-shirts on the website. We also want to post a blog where people can sort of search by categories within the community and have this really personal, um, authenticated experience." And so all of those components over many, many years became a conglomerate of products or components that we now call AC MemberSmart. So I want to talk before I jump right into the demo, I want to talk a bit about a customer that we recently implemented within the last year or so. So they've had some time to kind of get up and get running and get really comfortable and happy with the solution. This is the African American Alliance of CDFI CFOs. And for a nickname, like we call ourselves AC, they call themselves the Alliance. And this is a coalition of more than 80 CEOs of Black-led community development financial institutions, shortened to CDFIs. And this comprises loan funds, credit unions, venture capital firms, nonprofit developers. And the Alliance is really dedicated to empowering Black CDFI CEO members to lead and grow their institutional operations, their team, and their social impact. And since 2018, the Alliance has actually represented all 50 states and the District of Columbia. And as a result, all of those members are uniquely positioned to address issues related to housing and access to capital for African American populations and communities. So when the Alliance came to us, they had a number of project objectives. First, they aimed to provide sort of a technological solution to house member-only content. They wanted to increase their member-to-member communication, and they also wanted to maintain specific profile data and then house a member directory. So by utilizing Salesforce Experience Cloud as their base, the portal would then serve as a central repository and a platform to unite all of these members. And that provides easy access to tools, connections, resources, support, and it really advances the work of these Black-led CDFI members. They also wanted to implement a single sign-on, which we call in the ecosystem an SSO. User authentication service on the member community, which would allow their users to securely authenticate 2 of the Alliance's websites in just one credential. And that way, the members can either log into the member portal or they can log into the Alliance's main website and then automatically gain access to the portal. Just makes it easier for your community. So every time someone logs in, they have a seamless experience and they don't feel bogged down by Basil's example of 20 different logins here and there. So the solution is that Advanced Communities developed a really beautiful, you can go to their website, user-friendly member portal on Salesforce Experience Cloud. And the thing that I will say is that we built this from scratch. We implemented AC MemberSmart, but there is some restrictions. So just to clarify, if you go to their website, you'll see what the public can see, unless you are a member of this website. In which case, if you're a member and you log in, you authenticate yourself, you'll have a slightly different experience than the one that you would see if you went to their website right now. So in the demo today, I will touch on that just a little bit, but if you'd like to see kind of what does that actually mean? What's a public view versus an authenticated view or a logged in view? That is a great chance to schedule some time with Advanced Communities outside of this webinar. And we're more than happy to show you what sort of a seamless experience looks like and what a tailored experience looks like to a logged in user. So we developed this member portal on Experience Cloud from scratch. We implemented AC Member Directory, which is a component of AC MemberSmart. And that solution enables portal members to connect with other members and Alliance staff, and they can apply for things like grants. They can seek assistance and ask questions. They can stay up to date with any sort of current happenings using our blog component and our news feed. And then they can also keep up to date with anything in sort of the CDFI industry. Understanding that Salesforce was a new tool for the Alliance, AC also wanted to provide the team with a constant ongoing knowledge support throughout the implementation journey and after the portal was launched. In this case, if we were to put this equation together, Fionta would be the sort of glue that would continue ongoing support for you as an association. So the functionality that we implemented in the member portal was a member directory. So that's your central point of for all of your Alliance member profiles. Then we have communities. So communities is a word that we use a lot within the Salesforce ecosystem, particularly when we're talking about Experience Cloud and what that enables. But when I say communities in this instance, I'm actually talking about groups. So when we think about a large membership, you might want to break down that membership into multiple groups to allow certain points of interest to communicate with one another. And so we created groups that members can access to connect with each other and then sort of obtain information or have communication or chats. Think Facebook groups that are tailored to their specific interests or maybe their region. We also created an announcements board, and that sort of serves as the core hub for the communications between members and the Alliance. And then we enabled grant management, a community feed, and then just custom design. So I really strongly encourage you to go to the website, play around, click around, see what you can see as a public member. But we're also happy to show you a demo on a one-to-one basis. So from here, we have this beautiful get an ebook for free. This is true. We have an ebook that you are more than welcome to download. You just have to scan this QR code. You will receive this whole slide deck as well as the recording and a follow-up email. But actually, instead of having you all scan for this ebook right now, I'm actually going to pop into our portal to show you what on earth we've been talking about this whole time. So right now, what you're seeing is a very fake organization called the World Medical Association. We just made this up, but we are logged in as a user named Katie Johnson. Now, to give you the lay of the land, what we're looking at right now is Nonprofit Cloud using an Experience Cloud site. If any of you are not familiar with Salesforce, and this is your first touch point with Salesforce, essentially, you are seeing the iPhone that has been slightly tailored to be able to let someone log in and have a unique experience because of who they are as they're logged in. Think of it a bit like Spotify. You log into your Spotify account and all of a sudden you see things that are tailored to you because of your interests. You're seeing that now through the portal. So because I'm logged in as Katie, I'm seeing what this World Medical Association wants me to see. The first thing you'll see is the opportunity to join the member portal. Now, if I were not logged in and I was just a member of the public, when I go to this page, I will have the option to become a member only. But because I'm logged in, I actually see this renew button, and it's because this organization offers a couple of different types of membership. You can have one type, you can have 50 types, it doesn't matter to us. But Katie is actually already a member of this specific WMA membership, but maybe she wants to become a member of the associate WMA, in which case she could do that. As I mentioned, this is going to be the fastest and the lightest demo you'll ever see of MemberSmart. So if you have questions, feel free to pop them in the chat as we go. We'll either get to those during the Q&A or we'll get back to you with those in a follow-up. If you'd like to see more of a specific component that I go through today, please feel free to schedule time with us on the calendar. We'll put links in the follow-up email. Moving forward, another component that makes up MemberSmart is events. Events obviously is a huge part of how associations not only create new membership, but also engage their current membership. So from here, you can see a tile view of the different events that are available to Katie because she's logged in. You can also surface specific events to members of the public. A really good example of this, I know this is an association sort of based webinar, but I think everyone will understand when I say I went to Indiana University. I'm a proud Hoosier. And IU has a main campus in Bloomington, Indiana. They also have about 9 different satellite campuses around the state and even outside of the state that are all part of Indiana University, but they are not IU Bloomington. The campus that I went to most frequently was Indiana University Southeast. So when I think about an authenticated experience and what is available to me based on who I am, pretend for a moment that I was the president of the Alumni Association of Indiana University Southeast, of a satellite campus of Indiana University. I might then receive permission from Indiana University Southeast to create and manage my own events on Salesforce, but only to my region. So only to those alumni of IUS versus IU as a whole. And so you could assign what we call a power user to manage each location separately and post or create or manage events to their specific region. And so as Katie, if she were the president and she logged in to the portal, she would see not only everything that IU wanted her to see, but also have the capability to publish events to her region. So that's why we're seeing this create an event button up here. If you don't have permission from the association to create events or to be a power user, you simply don't see this button. But because Katie is a power user, if we click create an event, we can actually create our own event on the front end of Salesforce without having to access back office CRM data. So you're not worried about data breaches or people learning too much about your constituents. You can actually manage this from the front end through a click-based wizard. And I won't go through the whole thing. We don't have time, but it's very simple to go through each one of these fields, click, type in, upload images, and then at the end, once you've gone through the wizard itself, an event will pop out that looks just like one of these here. On the left, you have filtration options. We can filter on any field in Salesforce. So if you're not seeing a field here that you would want, we can totally make that happen. And if we pop into an event itself, we will go to a landing page where we'll see a banner image, the information about the event in a rich text field. So you can do what you want here as far as design goes. And then on the top, we have custom tabs. Custom is a bit of a funny word because actually we give you all of the templates for the tabs that you're seeing across the top here out of the box. But we also allow you to create additional tabs using CSS. So that's something Fionta could help you with. And essentially you would create any tab that you want as long as it's buildable via CSS, which pretty much means everything. So from here, if we hop into the agenda tab, we can see that this event happens over the course of a couple of days, and there are different sessions that are associated with each day. And once we're registered for this event, and we already are actually, we can actually hit this little plus button and it will add sessions to our agenda. So when we go into our schedule, we can see which sessions we have registered for. You can save this to your phone, you can download it, you can print it, but it keeps everything all in one place. Just a quick flyby view of the tabs. We also have speaker tabs, sponsor tabs. We have an integration with Google Maps. So if this is an in-person event, it's very easy for someone to grab directions straight off the landing page. And you can also embed videos. We allow for both in-person and online events. We have an integration with Zoom. So if you are currently using Zoom, we highly recommend that you stick with it. If you're not and you want to use another streaming service, there is possibility for us to integrate with it. We currently have Microsoft Teams on the roadmap to integrate with, but in short, you can use any streaming service you want. It's just a matter of how much information you're going to get back into Salesforce without an integration. So for example, if I host an event using my Zoom integration, all of the data that you would receive if you logged into Zoom after an event, just like I'll do after this webinar, would be how many people joined, at what minute did they join, how long did they stay, were they engaged during the process. All of that information that is usually housed in Zoom will actually be housed directly in Salesforce on the event record. So you don't have to log into two places. If you were to host using any other streaming service URL, you have to go to the other streaming service URL in order to gather that data. From here, I would want to show you the registration process. So if we click register here, we'll see a couple of different price packages. This is up to you. You can show members of the public one price, members who are logged in another price, or different tiers of membership, different prices. If we click register, we can see that our name pre-populates because we're logged in, but if we were a public user, it would ask us for our first name, last name, and email address, or any other field that you deem necessary. From here, we'll ask event questions. We might need to understand dietary restrictions or accessibility restrictions. And from here, it's going to take our payment. Now, we can also have vouchers. So if you'd like to offer voucher codes, we can do that. We can create vouchers. We can apply them to your account. And from here, we're just going to take the payment. Sorry. And the engine driving this payment is actually Stripe in this instance, but we have integrations with both Stripe and Spreedly. If you're unfamiliar with Spreedly, it is a payment aggregator and it encompasses about 130 different payment gateways. So if there's any question about if your payment gateway will work with something like MemberSmart, please feel free to reach out. We're happy to let you know. From here, we have successfully registered for the event and we can add it to our Google Calendar or download the ICS file for something like Outlook. And we can hit complete. Another component of AC MemberSmart is trainings. This is very similar to AC events. The difference is this behaves more like a course. Maybe this happens for 6 weeks, every Monday and Wednesday. Maybe it gets really granular where Monday is an in-person, but Wednesday is a Zoom meeting. Maybe it gets even more granular and you have different teachers for each evening, or you have different speakers that are rotating throughout the 6-week session. This functionality allows you to get really custom with how you handle a training or a course. From here, we have member directory and organization directory. For the member directory, think of it as a phone book for your members. You can choose to surface the information you want. So if you don't want to share people's phone numbers, for example, you don't have to, but it's up to you as an organization and also up to the member. You can also use this as a mentor matching tool. So keep that in mind if that's something that's interesting for you. From an organization standpoint, you might hear AC refer to this as partner marketplace. It's all one and the same. But the idea here is that if your members are organizations, in the example of a World Medical Association, maybe your organizations, maybe your members are hospitals, you can post them here. You can also use this for highlighting your sponsors, and you can have different tier levels of sponsors or partners. Next up, we have a shop. This is just an e-commerce platform, right? So you can sell hats, t-shirts, books, etc. here. But we also have a really interesting component that is being released at the 1st of October, I believe. So it's happening very soon. I think it's in final testing at this point, but it's called Unified Cart. And Unified Cart allows you to do something really interesting where you can say, guys, for the month of October, if you sign up to become a member with X organization, you're going to get 20% off your membership. You'll get 30% off your first event, and you can also take 50% off anything in the shop. And this allows for all of that automation and trigger to happen on the front end and then allow you to check out all on one ticket. Next up, we have donations and fundraisers. From here, we can see any active fundraising campaign and we can click into them. But we're seeing this edit and manage capability up here because Katie is a power user, and this is technically her campaign that she's created. But if you weren't a power user, you wouldn't see that functionality. From here, this looks and behaves a lot like GoFundMe if you're familiar with it, except we don't take your money at the end if you don't meet your goal. So from here, you can donate to the campaign. You can choose a pre-selected amount, or you can add in your own amount. You can also choose whether it's a single or recurring donation. And you can also choose to give anonymously. You can also see things like comments, or you can share this to social media to increase your reach. Almost through, guys. With the network, we have the ability to host groups. Think of these like Facebook groups. You can make these public, private. It's completely up to you. And you can also assign a power user to manage this group. Second to lastly, we have a job board. We've got folks that use this as a traditional job board. We also have folks that use this as a volunteer board. So that is up to you, and we can show you examples at a later time of how we would do that. And very, very lastly, we have CPD. So these are continuous professional development points. Essentially, it's gamification. It's the idea that if you give someone an activity and they do that activity, they receive a certain number of points for doing so. And at the end of accumulating so many points, they may get a jump in status or a prize or something like that. So we have created that ability for you to do that within the portal and keep track of your own activities and then log new activities. From here, I realize we are very close to time. So if you want to stick around, I think we can all probably stay on for a few minutes, but I'm going to hop right back into our last little slide here and just open the floor for conversation. I can see a few things flowing in and out of the chat, so I might need to catch up here. Team, any word from
The only question right now that's outstanding is actually one for you. Okay. And the question is, if a customer is currently using Classy, can you integrate with Classy to do the payment stuff, or how would that work?
That's a really good question. Classy is a great tool. I think this one was something that we should probably talk about a bit more in detail, because it could be that the functionality of Advanced Communities MemberSmart product actually does the work that you're asking for Classy to do, because we do have integrations with payment functionality. So let's talk about it. I will take note and be sure to reach out to you. So thank you so much for asking. But the short other answer is yes, we could theoretically integrate with Classy. It's just a matter of, do you want to? So that's the next question, and Fionta and AC would be very happy to help you kind of figure that out.
Yep. And I'll just offer that some of our clients don't, and some of our clients do. And, either way is fine, but, we're happy to advise once we understand what you're trying to do.
So real quick, we have a question. Do the advanced community products work in Experience Cloud sites built with Lightning Web components, or are they only working in the Aura framework? That's a really technical question, Rebecca, to give to you real quick. Are you able to answer that, or do we need to follow up with Leslie?
They do work with Lightning Web, absolutely.
There we go. Lightning Web Runtime. That's what LWR stands for. Lightning Web Runtime.
Yes, they do. They do work with Lightning Web. So no problem, and happy to show you that functionality.
Wonderful.
All right, guys. Do we have any other questions, any other notes from the panel?
Looks like we're clear on questions right now.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for taking time with us today. We really appreciate you spending an hour with us. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to any of us, and you'll soon get an email with all of our contact information, a recording of this webinar, and any sort of follow-up details that you need. So thank you guys so much. Have a great day.